Welcome everyone to another episode of the 20-Minute Mode podcast. I've got a very interesting guest on the show today. We've got Nikhil Shanker, who is the VP of Customer Experience at Urban Company. I think Urban Company doesn't really require any introduction. I think everyone's quite familiar with the services in the last few years, particularly. So, without further ado, I'll ask Nikhil to give us a little bit of a intro on his role at Urban Company and what the journey has been like. Welcome to the show, Nikhil.
Thank you so much, Jude. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I'll give you a quick introduction about what I do at Urban Company, and also just for the benefit of listeners, I will give some context on Urban Company. So we are a services platform. As a consumer, you can come on to Urban Company and book services such as personal grooming services for both men and women, whether you need a salon at home or a haircut at home or a massage at home. All of that is available on Urban Company. Similarly, if you need a plumber or a carpenter or AC repair, or your fridge has gone bad and you need that to get repaired, or you need your house painted, all of those are services available on Urban Company. The key thing being that at one end, we have consumers, at the other end are service professionals who are carefully selected and trained by Urban Company, and then through their journey on the platform, they are consistently monitored for quality, and anyone, based on any variance, we intervene and we retrain professionals who always maintain a very high quality of service delivery on the platform. The one key difference with that any service professional experiences is that out of the entire money that they earn from their services, they give a component which is in the range of 18 to 25% to the platform as platform functioning fees / commissions, etc., which all go towards training and marketing and so on, and they take home with them roughly 2/3 to 80% of their earnings net of everything. So which is very different from when they would be functioning, say, in a physical salon, where when they deliver 100 rupees of services, they're essentially taking back possibly 20 rupees. On Urban Company, that equation flips. So that makes all of these professionals also highly engaged, highly motivated micro entrepreneurs who are looking to always deliver high quality services. And it's this model which has helped us scale quickly while delivering very, very high quality services to consumers and fantastic earnings to service partners who operate off the platform. My role at Urban Company is to ensure that any customer in the process of taking services from Urban Company, if they require any support in their journey, there is a team and a system that's there to assist customers. And likewise for service partners who deliver these services via the Urban Company platform, if they have any challenges, if they need any support through their journey on Urban Company, there is a system and there's a team that's available to give them the necessary support. So I lead customer experience and service partner experience at Urban.
I also wanted to sort of deep dive into the whole customer support and customer experience function at Urban Company. So how has that evolved in, say, in the last 2 years, given that, you had the pandemic in 2020 and say these professionals who work with Urban Company were sort of at the front line, going to customers' homes and all of that. So with that, difficulties, how has the support as a function evolved at Urban Company, and how has your team grown and over these 2 years?
When I reflect back on us as a company and us as a team, we've always been very, very focused on our customers and our service partners, to the extent that one of our key values internally is win-win, which is that how do we create systems and how do we operate with a philosophy where both our consumers and our service partners win with any decision we take. In that light, when the pandemic set in, we double dived on systems that will ensure safety and and quality for our consumers. So very quickly systems came up to ensure that our service partners were masked, they wore gloves, and various forms of PPE. And we invested heavily in shipping all sorts of PPE equipment to our service partners. In parallel, as a support team, we were very, very cognizant of the needs of our consumers and our service partners. We assisted partners deeply in their process of serving customers. A very simple decision could mean that, hey, completely stop operations, there's COVID and so on, but it's equally important to recognize that individuals have earned over the last couple of years and continued their livelihoods. And that was an early realization for us that we had to play a key role in enabling our service partners to serve. And the support team played a key role over there, consistently getting in touch with service partners, ensuring that they were well supported. Through that period, we obviously launched various initiatives like a Suraksha program for partners, which assisted them through any infections and illnesses with financial support. There were soft COVID loans given during that period because some partners, owing to municipal restrictions, could not operate. So there was a support team which assisted partners in understanding that loan, taking that loan, making use of it. Equally on the consumer side, there were apprehensions, etc. They would call in. There was a team that was assisting them in that process. So I think over the last 2 years, we've seen a lot of that journey. Fortunately, now we are at a place where all our partners are vaccinated. Most of India and most of our consumers are vaccinated. So any spread of COVID is largely, at least now what we're seeing is mild. While we continue to be very vigilant, we've all been through a period where we've seen a tough phase, and now with enough vaccination, enough precautions, enough awareness, I think the whole environment is much more safe for all of us. One, specifically on the team, while we've always been very focused on ensuring that each and every problem that our customers and partners face is solved for them, we've also realized that to ensure great experience for our customers and our partners, while we solve for the instance, and that's been our focus for since the support function at Urban Company was set up. Over the last 2 years, a lot of our focus has shifted to eliminating core problems. So the team has started going back and thinking that, okay, this particular instance is getting solved, but how do we create the right systems to ensure that this problem gets eliminated at the core, and if it can't get eliminated, then there are systems which create a self-serve solution for the user, whether it's the customer or the partner. And hence, to drive core problem solving and to drive more automation, the team has become more heavy at from the lens of more problem solvers joining the team. So it's not a typical customer support team where you have people managers and people are just solving problems. You have a lot of team members now who are just focused on core problem elimination. And you have a very closely knit product and technology team that is working on a lot of automation solutions to make sure that if the problem can't get eliminated at the core, then there are smart systems to give consumers and partners a solution on the app itself, rather than having to speak to a service partner to an associate. So in essence, the team has we brought in a lot of team members who can solve problems. Equally, we also realized that to ensure that these team members were able to focus on solving problems, we have also, for a lot of the issue resolutions which were repetitive, um, we brought in an outsourced partner and moved a lot of our team member headcount to working with a partner organization. And our team closely works with that partner, but the earlier bandwidth that went into people management, that has reduced so that the team can now focus on actual core problems getting solved, and then creates the right systems, incentives, programs, etc., to enable all associates with our, whether they're in-house or with our partner company, to succeed at solving customers' problems.
I think you picked on some interesting points. One is on self-service options. And I think having good self-service options also creates a very seamless experience for customers. I've got I wanted to know a little bit more of the kind of customer base. So I'm guessing a lot of millennials and Gen Z users are comfortable using a services app like Urban Company. Now, when there is a spike in demand, and it's a popular app, and a lot of people require these services, particularly in tier 1 cities in India. How do you manage customer expectations?
We actually go through a bunch of peaks. For example, with the onset of summer, a lot of consumers tend to book a lot of home services and personal services. Examples being, a lot of consumers will require services for their air conditioners and refrigeration. With the onset of summer this time, a lot of people started getting back to work. So people required male grooming services and female grooming services. A lot of salon services for men and women were in demand. There are around festivals or house movements, again, with the onset of summer, there was a demand for electrician services, cleaning services. So all of that got bundled up, and through March and April, there's a huge spike. Obviously, there's some level of awareness that will happen, and so we tend to model that in, build our team accordingly, and so on. But we know that it's not a sustainable answer, that every time you peak, you're going to have to build your team. So a lot of focus at our end goes towards, to be ready, how can we ensure that core problems themselves don't occur? So there's a lot of prep towards core problem solving, so that the friction doesn't occur for the customer or the partner. Given that we have captured a lot of it previously, we go in and try to solve core problems for the platform. Second, that we recognize that, okay, if the problem were to occur, how do we make it a seamless experience for the user? So a good example is that any AC service that you take off Urban Company comes with a 60-day warranty. Now, if you take a service and say 4 days later, you witness, okay, someone fixed my AC, but I see some water dripping from the side of the air conditioner, the normal approach would be to call the company, and then they would say, okay, let us get back to you, we'll arrange something, so on and so forth. What we've done is that we've created a flow in the app where if you face a problem, say 60-day warranty valid, go on the app, it says book a free revisit. You simply click a button, find your slot that is suitable for you, click it, book it, and the same professional who served you will come back free of charge and fix the problem that was there. And that's a good example of making an experience seamless for the consumer. And there's a ton of things that's happened in the backend. There is obviously a technology layer. There is ensuring that the service partner and their incentives are aligned to making sure that they do this revisit. There is a P&L player to make sure that this entire cost that the service partner incurs to go back and revisit, or the company incurs in some cases, still ensures that the business is sustainable. So all of that is happening in the back end, but in the front end, the customer has a very, very seamless system to operate with. And that's the second layer we focus on, which is that how do we create very seamless flows for consumers, which are easy to use. And we found that, like you mentioned, that there are a lot of young millennial users who come and use Urban Company. But equally for across age groups, we find that systems that are simple and intuitive, irrespective of age group, irrespective of background, people will tend to gravitate towards them and use them because they're just so simple and seamless. And this is one good example of a seamless service that is there on Urban Company and very different from how you would avail of any form of warranty from any other alternate platform.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, I remember even, when you book a appointment and you want to have the same person come back and fix it for you, it was a very easy affair on the app to just select that option and have the same, say, technician or an electrician just come and, fix it, because it makes it a lot simpler. That's how you would do it if you knew the person, not via an app. So I think that's a very brilliant thing. And that I remember doing this once and I was thinking, oh, this makes so much sense. It would have been awful if it wasn't there.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, like great example, very specifically relevant for our personal care services. So when a female customer on Urban Company, she takes a salon service and she likes the professional. She typically wants the same professional to come home a month and a half later, because now the professional understands what the customer likes. It's very, it's in your house. There's some service happening on your skin and so on. So you have specific needs. And when you identify a professional who understands that, is empathetic towards your requirements, so you typically want the person to come back and deliver again. And that was, I think, a starting point where we realized that, okay, while as a platform, we want to ensure that every single profession is high quality, there is an element of customer preference for a specific professional, and therefore we enabled flow on the system for consumers to bring back the same professional they booked earlier. At the back end, it creates a lot of complexity in the system. It touches our capacity systems, it touches our matchmaking systems between demand and professionals, how we incentivize professionals in the right way, how we use this in our subscription systems, so on and so forth. So multiple things happen at the back end, but that's the beauty of any good system, that on the front end, you're going to create a very simple, seamless system. All of the complexities there at the back end.
Yeah, I think that's a very, very customer-centric move. And I think, I remember it, so I'm sure like there are tens of thousands of people who remember this specific feature and think, hey, that makes so much sense. And it's so much more personal that way. Why? I mean, it's an example of how the digital and the non-digital system works so seamlessly that you don't think of it as a chore to get this done, or you need to go through certain steps. It's quicker. It makes more sense, and like you said, it's intuitive. I had one more question. This is again from your personal experience at Urban Company. Is there one very interesting or magical thing that you've been able to like adopt and carry forward in customer support at Urban Company? I'm sure there's lots, but what is that one thing that you think is quite an interesting take on either customer experience or any kind of implementation in terms of processes that has made delightful experiences so common when using Urban Company?
Yeah, a great question. So, there are a lot of, like you mentioned, there are a lot of things and a lot of things top of the mind, like some of the examples of technology I gave, that this investing in technology is a great tool to create leverage in the system, right? Like now, for example, you spoke about peaks and troughs in how demand comes in and how self-serve flows can take care of a lot of those peaks. There are chat systems and chatbot systems. There's a bunch of technology, but so all of those are things. But I think the one key thing to me, and very close to my heart is something very, very basic. And that's that a lot of people within the company, including almost every senior member of the, the leadership team, focuses very deeply on being close to customers and service partners. So we have team members going on the ground and spending time with service partners to understand what works and what does not work. And this includes one-on-one conversations, group discussions, actually physically going, meeting service partners, physically going, sitting on their bike, traveling with service partners. So those are experiences which make problems very real, and those problems then come back to the drawing board, and teams work to solve them. And similarly, on the consumer side, team members go and visit customers, try to just in person understand problem areas, what is working for the consumer, what are some challenges they're facing. Equally, take services ourselves quite a lot, and therefore, communication channels that we use Slack as our communication platform. So you'll see every day a bunch of problems being shared. That hey, this service, this is exactly, these are the 3 things that broke. How do we go about fixing this? So on and so forth. So it is a, overall it keeps us all real and grounded, and to the point where we've not even had to institutionalize any program like a partner day or a customer day. I think it's just now become part of the culture where people do it themselves. And it couples well with the sort of team members there are in urban company, where everyone is very introspective and reflective, and no one is insecure in the fact that hey, if something negative gets shared, then that's a reflection of me. So you will have the person leading, say, an appliance service talk about that on Saturday I took a microwave service and these are the 4 things that broke in the service. Let's go out and fix these. So people are intuitively very, very just in general focused on building the right platform for customers and service partners, and that ensures that we are always improving. A lot of that also comes from the customer experience and the partner experience function, where there a more structured approach towards the same thing, that hey, these are the things we are hearing back from customers. Let's look at how we can solve problem 1, which is 20% of the problem 2, which is 10% of the problem, and then the team works with different parts of the company to drive that. And so on. But overall, I think the one key thing is this approach of being on ground and very close to partners and to customers, and that culture has helped us consistently build a company that's focused on customer experience.
Brilliant. I think from what customer support should be based on, this conversation has been extremely insightful. Like, those fundamental philosophies of how to approach customer experience, and then how to build on that, build processes on that, and then ultimately, deliver to customers. So I think it's been really insightful talking to you, Nikhil. Thank you so much for taking the time out and, being on the podcast as well.
Thank you so much, Jude, and it was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.